at the local community college and become the true expert there.
Great tip. Hey, do you have time to watch, late night television? It doesn't have to always be late night, but usually is. Those infomercials.
Yeah, there was a time my sister wanted to put a sticker on my front door that said "As Seen on TV."
Why would that be, Angel?
Because I was such an infomercial junkie. Have you ever thought about having your own infomercial? Do you wonder about how to have one of those really successful infomercials? Or how about even paying a fun little $4.5 million fee for running a 30-second spot during a Super Bowl?
That's ridiculous.
Well, you want to make sure you've got an expert on your side. So we have one, Collette Liantonio. Collette Liantonio is with Concepts TV Productions, and she has produced some of the best-known infomercials for As Seen on TV products. And we have her here on the Experience Pros Radio Show. Collette, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it,
Collette,
Angel and Eric.
It's a privilege. So where do people get started? I mean, first of all, $4.5 million for a 30-second spot during the Super Bowl? Really?
Not one of my spots.
Okay, all right, good.
Not one of my spots. They and will they perform? That's the question. You know, after a Super Bowl spot runs, you can ask people, and they'll say, I don't remember if it was for Gatorade or if it was, but it was really funny. You'll never hear that about my commercials. You may hear that they're funny, but you'll remember the product.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, well, this is a small business talk show, and it would be ridiculous. You'd have to sell a whole lot of widgets to make that a productive spot. Let's talk about how a small business gets into putting their products or services on television.
Well, there's one of two ways. If you have deep pockets, and I don't mean deep pockets like PepsiCo, but deep pockets like $100,000, you can do your own campaign, and nobody has to be your partner. You come to conceptstv.com or one of the other major infomercial companies, and we can do everything from the creative through the media buying, through the delivery of your product. But it's a risk. Maybe 1 out of 5, maybe 1 out of 10 commercials work, depending on the category. So that's a big risk for your average entrepreneur or inventor. Most clients come to me through the auspices of another marketer, and I make the creative decisions and the commercials for them, but they are partners at that point. And maybe you get a royalty, and you think after you spend all that money on your brilliant design that royalty is not tremendous. Well, it's better, and you learn how to market a product. If it's your one and only shot at immortality or being a millionaire, then maybe you want to do it all yourself with your money. But by and large, companies go to the marketers, and those marketers invest in them and give them a royalty, which will vary depending on your negotiating skills and how hot they are on your product.
Is there kind of like an algorithm, Collette, that, when you're putting together an infomercial that, it has to have, 3 elements have to be included in all of them? Is it always the same, or is it always we start completely fresh, at the drawing board with absolutely nothing?
Rules were made to be broken. Let's face it. At Concepts TV, I started this company in 1983. I've done over 3,000 commercials. Believe me, I don't follow one simple pattern. It gets kind of boring, and the audience would turn us off at some point in time. The other thing that happens today is we're on the internet. We're big on the internet.
I was going to ask you about that.
Huge, and we're multilingual, and we're international. So no one approach is going to work. Having said that, like a Shakespearean sonnet with 14 lines, we have a pattern, we have a formula, and we break the formula depending on the product.
But wait,
I'm not going to use the same product formula for exercise if I'm doing my fitness products like a hip-hop abs or something of that nature than I'm going to do for furniture picks with sumo wrestlers. I have different patterns for different products.
Gotcha. And I hear that, but wait, there's much more things to run Popil. Let me ask you this, though, because you talked about the internet, and I was going to ask, what is the impact of internet? If we don't have the $100,000 and maybe we're not connected to a marketing firm, but we still want to put out a quality commercial that can maybe be aired. It's kind of like sending a movie out direct to DVD. You put it on the YouTube. Is that gaining in popularity?
You won't know where to put it. And if you think there's clutter on TV, think about the clutter on the internet.
Amen.
Again, that is where I recommend that you go to a marketer that's experienced. Now, I do internet commercials all day long, all week long with a flip cam, and I test. But I know where to test. And my marketers know where to test. And you test against people that buy on TV. There are certain people that never in a million years would they buy an as seen on TV product. You're not going to get a good read if you send them out to them. If you get a hippie community in Seattle that doesn't own a TV, why would you test to that group? But they may have the internet. So you have to know where you're going. You have to know where you're playing your ad. Concepts TV knows how to do that. People in our industry that are marketers that have done this 10, 20, 30, 100 times or more know where to test on the internet. The internet is the same as TV in that sense. You're going to go, if you're going to have an algorithm, it's going to be the algorithm that tells you what an as seen on TV buyer is how they're going to perform.
Well, and Collette, I know that one of your commercials is actually been the longest running spot on television. Is a one-time spot in the Super Bowl, enough, or do you have to run that for a couple of years?
Well, there's spots that I've been running for 10 years, and
wow.
It's very difficult sometimes to convince a client to change what's working, and it gets old. But a one-time spot on the Super Bowl will hit a lot of eyeballs. But most of us, unless you're child genius, needs more than one airing of anything to remember it and act on it. My whole criteria for a successful commercial is people take action, whether they go to the as seen on TV section of the store or whether they go and immediately order online, or whether they pick up the phone and call. As long as they take action, the spot was successful. Now, in a Super Bowl, you've got a very involved audience that probably isn't going to do anything except watch the Super Bowl. I don't know how successful that spot would be. And that's a lot of money to spend, and if you're selling a $10 or $20 widget, that's a lot. However, if you're selling a $1,000 piece of exercise equipment, maybe that's a good place for it.
All right.
And we'll only know if it's good once you air it.
Right.
You've got to air it. Yeah. Don't keep that in the boardroom. We're speaking with Collette Liantonio with Concepts TV Productions. Collette, what else do you want our listeners to know today?
Pardon?
What else would you like our listeners to know about creating their own commercials or having commercials created?
I personally think it's one of the last ways that you can realize the American dream without already being born a millionaire or inheriting that money. It's one of the few ways you can actually take your idea, your product, and bring it to the masses all around the world. No matter where you travel in the world, if you turn on your TV, you will see a variation of the American infomercial. And it's in any language, any country, anywhere, as remote as you can imagine, those infomercials and commercials are selling.
Good.
And that's kind of a tribute to what you guys are doing there on your radio station and what we're doing, that we can make dreams come true.
Isn't that the truth? Collette Liantonio, where do we find more information about you and your company?
ConceptsTV.com.
Quick and easy, ConceptsTV.com. Collette,
Yeah,
thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate this time.
Folks, don't go anywhere. When we come back, more positive business talk and more summertime marketing ideas perfect for your small business.
The experienced pros are here